All right, pour yourself some tea, some coffee, some wine, some champagne, some beer, whatever, because we're going to get into this discussion about Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feenery. Hello, hello, hello. My name is Nakia. Welcome to my channel. As you've seen from the title of this video, we are here to discuss Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feenery. This is a highly anticipated thriller book on so many people's lists, mine included. I had this on my 2021 anticipated thriller books video last year. I will link it here. Now, I don't really like domestic thrillers. I've said this before on my channel, but this one intrigued me because this one deals with a man named Adam and his wife Amelia, and Adam suffers from facial blindness, so that had me intrigued. He's also a screenwriter, and they want a trip to this old chapel that's been converted into a home, and they decide to go for their anniversary. It's in Scotland, it's snowing, all that good stuff. They get snowed in. Then each year, this couple, they give each other the traditional anniversary gifts that you're supposed to give. So like one that has linen and gold and all that good stuff, whatever. I don't really know about all that, but they do those gifts. So we also get chapters where we are getting journal entries from Adam's wife, where she's talking about the gifts that they gave each other that year and how things were going in their relationship at the time. So we slowly see how things start to go downhill. I think that's about what you need to know to get into this story. So the way I'm going to do this is the first part of this video will be the spoiler-free portion. So, if you don't want to hear the things I have to say to deal with spoilers, I will tell you where I'm done and where you can stop. But the second half will be more interesting because that's where I'm going to get into the spoilers, because I have so much more to say that deal with that. So let's get into it. Now, what worked for me was the atmosphere of this book. It was perfect for winter time. Like I said, it is a snowstorm. The chapel is old and we got the creaky wood floors and candlelight. And just like I said, it's a whole mood. I did enjoy Alice Feenery's writing. I enjoyed the pacing of this book. I think it was like medium pace, so it kept me interested. I was flipping pages, but I wasn't running back to it. I wasn't like, oh, I got to get back to that book. Didn't do that for me, but like I said, it kept me intrigued enough to keep reading. The multiple POVs in this book also worked for me. They don't always work for me in other stories, but they worked for me this time because the way she did it was like, something would happen and we'd have like Adam's perspective. And then it'd end on like a cliffhanger because like he'd open a door, let's say. And then we switch to Amelia's perspective and then she'd be like, once he opened the door, she'd continue it from her perspective. So I enjoyed that. And at first I was enjoying the diary entries that had to do with their anniversaries, but that started to unravel and I will tell you why in a minute. And I think those are about the things that I enjoyed. So let's talk about what I didn't enjoy. What I didn't like was this couple together. I just felt like they had no business together. I was so annoyed with them in the very beginning when we're getting like sprinklings of things that are going on in their relationship. It was just like, oh, okay, typical marriage stuff. They got some things they need to work on. But then the more the story went on, it was just like, why are you together? It was almost like they hated each other. And I was just frustrated. I was just like, just get a divorce, the end of book. Let's close it up. That's it. Make it a novella. I got to the point where I was almost ready to DNF this because I was just so frustrated with them two as a couple. And I just didn't think they needed to be together. So there was no point. But as I said, I was intrigued enough to know what was going to happen. They kept hinting at things of, like I said, Adam at one point was like, she may not make it out of this, or one of us is going to leave here, whatever. And then like Amelia's point of view, she'd be like, wait till he finds out the secrets I'm hiding. And so my curiosity, I'm like, what secrets? What's going to happen to her? What's going on? So that kept me reading because otherwise it would have been a DNF. What also did not work for me was the storyline plot point of his facial blindness. It is a real disorder. I will put it here on the screen because I'm not even going to try to say it. But the way it was described in this book is that he just does not recognize anyone's faces. And I know from what I've looked up about this disorder, I guess it varies from person to person, but you can see pictures when you look online of what it looks like to people. But like I said, in this book, he recognized nothing. Normally when someone loses one of their senses, sight, hearing, smell, whatever, other senses heighten. But for some reason with this dude, that didn't happen. And I did not understand because he was just a little too slow for my liking. But anyway, I'll get into that in my spoiler portion of the video. What also did not work for me was just these two characters, period. I didn't like either one of them. I was like, am I supposed to like them? Because I didn't. That added to the whole, why are you together at the end? Because I just didn't care for either one of them. So, as I said, I just kept reading because of the curiosity, but I didn't like either one of them. So I didn't care what happened to them. And that's always a problem in a book. You don't want that. Another issue I had was that there was a third POV that was introduced pretty early on. And I was like, who is this person? It's a woman. I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to spoil anything. But I was like, who is this person? Why are we now all of a sudden getting her POV? It took me out of the suspense that was going on with Adam and Amelia to now we got this other person and I just didn't care for her POV. I understand after finishing it why it was there. I just wish there was another way to do it because like I said, I just didn't like this person's POV. It bothered me. And then my biggest issue with this book, which, you know, is major with thriller mystery books, is I did not like the twists, especially the main one. That one probably irritated me. I actually finished this book on New Year's Day. So I wrestled with the thought of, do I put my date that I finished it as December 31st so I could put it away for last year's reads, or do I make it January 1st and it'll be a book for January? But I left it at January because this will probably be on my worst books of 2022 list already ahead of time, but it's probably coming. Because like I said, the major twist to this story, I just did not like. It irritated me because it messed with the reader too much. And I ain't like that. Don't be messing with me. What? Alice Feenery? No. You tried it. I didn't like it. Don't do that. Anyway, but it wasn't just that one twist. Then there was another one. And then there was another one. And then another person got introduced. And it was just too much. Things didn't make sense. I even went back and reread some things before I did this review, and I was just like, nope, still didn't work. No. So I ended up giving this book 2.5 stars. I'm probably going to round it to 3. I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet. It's 2.5 for me and you, but for Goodreads, I don't know yet. You'll have to see because I don't know. I just don't know. But anyway, those are my spoiler-free thoughts on this book. Like I said, it's hard to talk about because I have so many more things to discuss with spoilers. So if you're like me, sometimes I watch these videos when I haven't read the book, but I know I don't want to read it and I just want to know what shenanigans go on, then stay tuned. Find out what I got to say. And if you have read it and you just want to see if I agree with you or whatnot, you're getting that too. And if you are leaving at this point, thank you so much for watching. I hope you will consider subscribing. Check out what else I have to offer, and I'll see you next time. But for those that are sticking around, let's get into the spoiler portion of the video. All right, so let's do this. Let's discuss this book with spoilers. As I said in part 1, I'm not going to go back over the synopsis, but we got this couple going on this trip for their anniversary, but they have no business being together. They got issues, and we start finding out all their issues slowly but surely. I'm not going to get into those because that's not important to this part. But, well, I'll get into one of them. One of the issues that the wife has with Adam is that he is a screenwriter, as I said, and he's just so into his work to where he neglects her. And she's just tired of, him running off to the premieres and him always writing and, that kind of thing. Complain. Which, once again, why are you with him? Divorce, the end. So one of the big secrets between them two is that Adam had this writer that he loved, this author of fictional books named Henry. He wanted to adapt one of his novels into a movie so bad because Henry had never let anyone else do this and he wanted to be the one. So one day, Adam gets a call from Henry's publicist or whatever. Henry wants to talk to Adam. They get together and surprise, surprise, Henry decides to let him adapt his book. And this changes Adam's life because this movie does so well. And like I said, all of a sudden he becomes, well known in the movie industry. And then he just starts adapting other people's novels and going from there. And like I said, becoming a successful writer. Amelia works at a dog rescue group. I believe it was just dogs. I don't think it was cats or anything like that. But yeah, so she loves animals, specifically dogs. And like I said, she also deals with having issues with people because of how they treat animals. I can relate. I used to foster. But anyway, so yeah, I did like that aspect of the story. And the other issue between them is, like, of course, because she just works at this animal rescue group, she doesn't have as much money and, she's not as fancy as him with all the Hollywood people and all of that stuff. Who cares? But anyway, so like I said, this is a major issue between them two. In the chapters that are the journal entries that are written that happen every anniversary, like I said, we slowly start to learn what's been going on between them two and why they have issues. And like I said, all of that stuff. Now, I enjoyed all the stuff in the chapel, as I said in part 1, because it was very atmospheric. It was creepy at times because like the power went out and, you know, you got candlelight and what's going on? What was that sound? And then there's a cellar, wine cellar, and they go down into the wine cellar. And then we also found out Amelia has asthma. So like she goes down there and has an asthma attack and the lights go out and you're just like, oh my God, what's going to happen? So like I said, all of that was good. I enjoyed all that suspense. As I said in part 1, we get a third POV, this woman named Robin. And I'm like, who the hell is she? Why are we getting her POV? Because she just interrupted the flow of the story, in my opinion. She came in and I was just like, who are you? Because then her part is like, she's going to the store and she's this weirdo and people in the store look at her like she's crazy. She buys baby food in jars. She goes home and she's feeding this baby food to something that we don't know what is. So you're like, who or what is she holding captive? It just was, I didn't really care because I was like, who is she? So also while Adam and Amelia are in the house, like I said, they hear things. At one point, Amelia says she sees someone looking in the window at them. We come to find out it's Robin later on. So a spoiler. So once I learned later that Robin was the one looking inside and like I said, some strange things that were happening had to do with Robin, it got a little more interesting, her point of view. But at first it was not working for me. As I also said, with Adam's facial blindness disorder, I'll put it here, he just did not recognize anyone. So like I said, this is what intrigued me about the story because I was like, oh, what's going to be the mystery with this? Is it going to be like his wife is not his wife or something like that? Of course, that's what I thought going in. It also factored into him at work because his wife would tag along with him to, you know, all these like Hollywood events and stuff because she would have to tell him who was who as people approach and stuff like that. So I guess that's important. But let's get into these twists, honey. The first twist that irritated me was that we find out that Adam cheated on his wife and he ended up divorcing his first wife and marrying the second wife. The first twist is that Amelia is the second wife. Robin was the first wife. So stay with me because it's a lot. So basically all the journal entries for the anniversaries are Robin's POV, the first wife. And then all the chapters that are from Amelia are Amelia, the second wife. But we don't know she's the second wife until we get to that twist. You are supposed to think that they're all one and the same, which is why I was careful to say the wife, the wife, the wife, because you can't say Amelia or Robin because otherwise you'll be giving something away. So like I said, that irritated me because I was like, hold up. So now I feel like I got to go back and reread all these damn journal entries and fix my mind to know that's Robin and not Amelia. And then now I know that Amelia's a home wrecking whore. And so now I got to look at her differently. But it didn't matter because I didn't like Adam or Amelia either way. But I did feel for Robin because she was the one who was cheated on. So like I said, you find out that that's what happened. And then you also find out that Robin had described in the book that she had met this friend because she was so lonely because Adam was always off gallivanting in Hollywood and writing and stuff. So she had met a friend at her dog rescue group. And it was this, you know, like homely young lady who came in and, you know, she barely knew anything. And she was like an intern or something at first. And Robin showed her the ropes and got her, you know, a better job. And then all of a sudden one day, Adam and Robin are chilling at home and this woman shows up, Amelia, and she's got a new haircut, new clothes, and she looks more like Robin. And people at the job had said Robin and Amelia looked like twins. So, okay. So she shows up and she's looking more like her. But of course, Adam doesn't know anything. He can't tell what's what. But anyway, so Amelia shows up one day and seduces Adam. He sleeps with her. And Robin walks in on them too, catches him in the bed, and she's like, oh, hell no. So she goes out to their front yard. One of their anniversaries, Adam had given her some seeds or something for a magnolia tree. So she planted the tree. And in the book, it says that the tree had gotten to the heights of Robin. So Robin proceeds to dig this tree up out the ground, drag it in the house, and throw it in the bed with Adam. And Amelia is like, there you go, I'm out. I was like, she dragged a whole tree? Okay. So she divorced him, moved on. But like I said, the whole time she's plotting her revenge. So like I said, it also irritated me because this whole time we're following Amelia and Adam and they got all these issues. It's like, so you cheated with this woman, married her, and you still having problems? He was having problems with Robin too. But according to him, Robin was the love of his life. Amelia was not. She was just the whore. And like I said, I don't know why he married her. But anyway, so then there's another major plot point, another twist. Adam's mom was killed, hit and run, when he was a kid. And he just has these nightmares. His mom was wearing this red kimono and she was walking the dog. So he just constantly has these nightmares of seeing his mom get hit by this car. And the author tells us that he saw the person who killed his mother, but he can't identify them because he doesn't recognize the face. Stay with me. So then Robin proceeds to tell Adam that the woman who killed your mother was Amelia. And so we find out that when Adam was a teenager, he got into an argument with his mother. He storms out the house at night and he goes to the park and there's this girl there. I think it was the park. He goes to the park and he sees this young girl, about his age, and she's sitting there, you know, smoking a cigarette or whatever. And she's like this little troublemaker, and they hang out and then they kiss. And then she's like, you know, I'll let you do more if you find somewhere we can go. And he's like, oh, okay. So he has sex with her, loses his virginity to her, I guess. I don't know. He constantly has nightmares about the accident that killed his mother. And as I said, he saw who killed her, but he can't identify the person because of the facial blindness thing. So Robin tells him that Amelia is the one who killed his mother. So then Adam proceeds to question Amelia. This is at the point they're all three in the chapel and it's like the climax of the book. He says to Amelia, have you ever been in trouble with the police? Did you used to steal cars? Did you get arrested for death by dangerous driving when we were both 13? Did it crash into a woman wearing a red kimono while walking her dog? Did you leave her for dead and drive away? Did you think you would get away with it forever? Were you the person in the car the night my mother was killed? This is sick. You're sick. So he says all these things to her. Remember that. And this is when she starts having an asthma attack. She's like reaching for the inhaler and whatever. And he like, so this is all while he's accosting her. So then she reaches for a knife and gets ready, I guess, to stab him. And then out the corner of his eye, he sees some shiny reflection in some other metal. And it's Robin who has some scissors and fade to black. Next thing we know, I guess, I don't know, this wasn't a twist, but surprise, surprise, she kills Amelia. Right before this happens, though, we get a perspective of Robin where she tells Adam he has three choices. She tells him rock, paper, scissors. It's also supposed to be a game that they played in their marriage sometimes they couldn't make decisions. So she tells him option 1, rock. You try to leave with the woman who killed your mother. Option 2, paper. You walk out of there alone and come find me and Bob in the cottage. Bob is their dog. And then she says option 3, scissors. You don't want to know. Okay. So after Robin kills Amelia, her and Adam get back together so they can live happily ever after, knowing she killed a woman and they've had all these secrets and lies and he's cheated on her in the past, but she was his one true love. And so they're going to get back together. The other thing is the chapel they're staying in is the writer Henry's chapel. Like I said in part 1, Henry was this author that Adam loved and he let him adapt his book. And we knew that there was a secret that was being kept from Adam that Robin knew because we were getting these in the journal entries. Something she knew about the reason why Henry let him adapt this book, but it was a secret that we were waiting to find out. So the secret was that Robin was Henry's daughter. And Adam never knew this because she didn't talk about her dad. I just have a hard time believing in these books and things when there's a whole part of someone's life that they don't tell their spouse or child or whatever about. I'm just like, how'd you go all this time and you never talked about your parents or your father or whatever? I was like, okay. So they were looking at the pictures on the wall that belonged to Henry, and there was a picture from Adam's wedding day with Robin. And that's when Amelia was telling him what the pictures looked like. And she's like, Robin was your first wife. I'm your second wife. And he's like, wait, what? So then all of a sudden he remembers that he got married a second time. How do you not know you were already married? But all of a sudden now it all comes back to him. And now he remembers sleeping with Amelia and cheating and all that stuff. But then come to find out, like I said, Amelia is the 13-year-old girl that he slept with. So you also don't realize you slept with this woman more than once. I mean, I know things change when you're an adult from a child, but I'm just saying, if you think about it, it's a little weird. And then there was one last twist that irritated me. There's another one that's not important. We also found out that there was a private investigator that Henry had hired to follow Adam and Amelia because he wanted to keep an eye on her since she wasn't talking to him. And his perspective is the last one of the book, the private investigator, this guy named Sam. Didn't make sense because he went to the house to try to find Henry because he hadn't heard from him in years. He wanted to know what happened to him. He finds the grave of Amelia, and there's a hand sticking out the grave with Adam's mom's wedding ring on it. So we know it's Amelia. But again, we already knew Amelia was dead. So I didn't understand why that was the last chapter, last page. Okay. But like I said, the other twist that pissed me off and didn't make no damn sense was that Adam was the one who killed his mother, was driving the car. Now, I just read to you straight from the book the questions that he had for Amelia. Why was he asking those questions if he was the one driving the car? Didn't he know he killed his mother? All of a sudden, when we get to the end, he's like, I'm so glad all these secrets are, revealed now. We have nothing else between us and we can live happily ever after. And then he says, and going through all of this reminded me of that night when I was the one driving the car. And basically it was supposed to be, like I said, he was in the car with this half of Amelia when she was 13. And she stole his car and she's like, drive faster, faster. He's like, okay. And it's raining and he loses control of the car. And he's the one who hits his mom and kills her. So everything he sees in his nightmares is from him driving. But Amelia, 13-year-old Amelia, pushes him out the car and she takes off. So then all people know is that a teenage girl was driving. So the police arrest her and question her. And then so Adam says he didn't see her because he doesn't recognize faces. So I guess what she was trying to do, Alice Feenery, was make it like Adam, what was she trying to do? I guess what she was trying to do was make it seem like Adam wanted Amelia to think she did it so that he could get away with it or whatever. So he was asking her all those questions. He was trying to make her believe she did it. But again, I just, no. We're done here. We're done. So that is my review with spoilers. As I said, 2.5 stars. Now that I'm talking about it some more, I think it's back down to 2. We'll see. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I tried to piece it together and make it coherent, but as you see, this story is all over the place. It is hard to talk about. I'm mixing up Amelia and Robin, and I just, it's so much. But as I said, I hope it was helpful and entertaining for you. And let me know in the comments if you have read this book, what you think, or if you haven't read it and you just watched the spoiler-free portion and you're like, hell no, I'm not reading it now. Let me know that as well. And I'm pretty sure I'm done with Alice Feenery. I'm pretty sure I'm done with domestic thrillers. But you can try to convince me otherwise in the comments. Good luck with that. So that's all for this video. Until next time, snuggle up within your hideaway with a good book. Unplug as much as possible. Be kind to all kind. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.